Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel where I like to make, create, and inspire fun art things with you. Today I have a few more DIYs that will bring such a pop of color to your spring decor. They can be just spring DIYs and Easter DIYs too. So without further ado, come along with me and let's art today. So jumping into DIY number one, I have an 8x10 canvas and I will be using some of my Liquitex basic acrylic paints. The three main paints that I'm going to paint onto my canvas are called Brilliant Purple, Light Pink, and a Medium Magenta, and I think these colors are so pretty and so vibrant for the spring season. I do add my paint to a paint palette and I'm just going in with that light pink color. I add it to the corners of the canvas, first in the upper left hand corner and then I go down on the bottom corner and I just blend the paint in. Then I'm going to go in with the medium magenta and blend the paint in to give it like a ombre look and effect. I do go in a diagonal motion starting from the bottom just to give it a better looking effect and some interest. I continue adding paint on top of the canvas and blending it all together until it's up to my liking, and then I will set it off to the side to dry completely. For the next part of this DIY, I will be using these ornaments from Dollar Tree. There's 14 pieces, and I have some leftover bunnies from a previous project that I will use also. I'm just using 5 of these wooden cutout eggs, and I will be using 4 of the bunnies, but I do paint 5 because I miscounted. Like I said, I am going to paint these wooden pieces. I first start with the bunnies and I'm going in with my Java chalk paint. I'm going to use it more as a stain than the actual paint. So I add it onto the bunnies, take an old rag and then wipe away the excess, and it gives it such a high-end look. Here's what they look like after they're completely dried, and I did cover both sides of the bunnies because I didn't know which direction I wanted to put them in. For the eggs, I wanted to give them a two-tone look using that Java brown paint that I was using earlier and then some mustard paint as well. I'm first taking some masking tape covering the egg, then I go in with my Java paint, paint it on, and then wipe off the excess. After this side of the paint has completely dried, I'm just removing the tape and then replacing it back on the painted area just to give it some protection so when I fill up the other side with the paint. As you see, each tape had a different position just to give the eggs more interest. Now I'm going in with that vintage yellow mustard and I'm adding it to the side that is now exposed, and I give it a good one solid coat of paint and then put it to the side to dry. Moving back to the canvas that I painted on, it is nice and dry and it looks so pretty. I'm just going to remove it from the wooden frame that it originally comes on. I'm just using a box cutter to do this, and I'm going in front of the staples that it originally has and pushing down really hard to remove the canvas. If you are new here and you haven't yet subscribed, I would love for you to do so by clicking the big red button down below. All you have to do is click on the bell notification so that YouTube can always notify you when I upload new content, and I would love for you to be part of my virtual art family. After I cut the biggest part of the canvas off of the back of the frame, I'm just taking the excess off with my hand. It's pretty simple after that. Then here is the frame with it just off of the canvas, and that is the part that I want to keep because I'm going to stain it as well. Once again, I'm using my Java chalk paint in my folk art collection and I'm adding it to the picture frame, and then I'm taking the old rag and wiping the excess off so that it looks like a wood stain. After the paint has completely dried, I want to add it to the canvas itself because I want this to look like a frame art piece. I am attaching the canvas to the picture frame using hot glue. That's why I wasn't so worried about staining the back of it because we're going to cover it with the canvas. Then I'm taking a pair of scissors and cutting off the leftover canvas piece that is hanging on the outer edges. And lastly, for this DIY, I have to just attach all of those little pieces that I painted earlier, which are the bunnies and the eggs. Now, at first, I wasn't sure where I was going to place them. I didn't know if I wanted the frame vertical or horizontal, so I'm just adding the pieces all around until I find where I like it the most, and then I attach everything using my hot glue gun. So if you would like, you can be finished with this project just as is, but I just wanted to add a little bit more detail by adding a little bit of greenery to the outer edge of the picture frame itself, and I just loved how it turned out. Once again, here is the final look on this DIY, and I absolutely love it. I love the wood look with pops of color all around it. I just think it makes it look so high end. It was really simple to do, fun to make, and I would love to know what you think down in the comment section below. Jumping into DIY number 2, I have this cloche that Dollar Tree carries this past couple of years, and I'm just removing the tape off of it, and then I will work on the base of the cloche. After wiping it down, I am going to paint it with this vintage mustard color that I'm really liking for this spring season. I give it a good thorough 2 coats of paint because the first coat doesn't adhere all the way to the plastic container, so I then go back in and give it a second coat. For the next part of the DIY, I have this cute little bunny, and it's actually just called an Easter egg, and it comes in this package with all multicolored little bunnies, but I'm just using the white one. Next, I will take my chalk folk art home decor paint in the color Castle, and I will give this bunny 2 coats of this paint. As I'm painting my little bunny friend, I have some exciting news that I want to share with you, which is that I created a Buy Me a Coffee page. It's another way to communicate to my subscribers and supporters, and it's an easy way to support me if you can. I have created this page to help with my YouTube channel so I could become a better content creator for you. If you would like to buy me a coffee, I would definitely use it to help my channel grow with many different supplies and projects so that I can share them with you. And I do love coffee. Your support means so much to me, and I do appreciate you so much. And don't worry if you cannot support me in this way. No worries, just by you being here and watching my video helps out too. Remember, it's no obligation whatsoever. If you can, it will help me out tremendously, and I would be so grateful. But if you can't, I still appreciate you. And here's how the bunnies look after the chalk paint has completely dried. Now I'm taking some Java chalk paint and I'm going to add it all around the bunny just to give it a little depth of color and to add a little more interest to my bunny. Next, I'm going in with some black acrylic paint watered down, and I'm using the end of another paintbrush or skewer stick, and I'm spraying it all over the bunny. I do the same thing with white acrylic paint just to give the bunny a stone-like appearance. Now that everything is dried, I did take a cotton ball, cut it in half, and I'm placing it on the back of the bunny just to give him a little cotton tail, which I think is so adorable. Next, I had a leftover wooden cutout egg that I just painted purple, and I'm hot gluing it to the front of the bunny so that it looks like he's holding an Easter egg. So I want to add the bunny to the center of the thing, but before I did that, I have one of these leftover moss eggs from a previous project that I will link in the description box below, and I'm just hot gluing it to the center of the bottom piece. Now it's time to put the little bunny on top of that moss rock area. I'm just adding some hot glue to the bottom of the bunny and then placing him on top of that moss rock, making sure he's as centered as possible. And I knew that I wanted to add more decorations to this little display, so I have some leftover greenery from previous projects and some of their fall no spring season decor that I am adding to this little display. The last thing I do to this project is add a little nose and some whisker to my bunny's face, and then I add the dome or the cloche back on top of the bunny. And here is the final look on this DIY. I absolutely love it. It is so gorgeous to me. It's so unique looking, and I think it adds a perfect little touch to my Easter / spring decor. Now I did leave the top off to show you, and here's what it looks like again with the little cloche back on, and I just think it's so adorable. I would love to know what you think in the comment section down below. Moving on to DIY number 3, I have this broken tree stand that was from Dollar Tree that had the tinsel all over it. I just ripped half of it apart, and I am now cutting off the little spikes on the ends because it always gets in the way. Also, I have some orange yarn that I will use as well. Now that I have the spikes all cut down, I'm taking that yarn and adding some hot glue at the bottom of that tree form, and I'm adding the yarn around it, wrapping it all the way until I reach the top. I do go in and add some more hot glue to hold the yarn in some places, and I continue this until the whole thing is completely full. Here's what it looks like when it's completely full, and yes, it is a carrot. To add the little green tops to my carrot, I have this leftover Christmas greenery that I purchased at Michael's. It was on clearance, I believe, for almost 80 or 90% off. I only paid like $1 or $2 for it, and I'm pulling off the little greenery from the original stems, and I will start hot gluing it inside of the carrot so it looks like the stems are coming out. Here's what it looks like with some of the greenery already hot glued on the edges, and now I'm adding a floral foam in the center of it, pushing it down as far as it goes so that I can add more greenery to the carrot. I do add some stems on some leftover florals that I had left over just to add some height to the greenery. Here is the final look on DIY number 3, and I just absolutely love it. It's just a giant carrot, but it's so cute. I did go in and fill it up with a little bit of the florals from Dollar Tree in their Easter selections. Those little, I don't know what to call them, but they're purple and they have little beads on them, and I just think it makes it look so good. Let me know in the comments what you think. Once again, here is an overall look at all the DIYs that I have done today, and I absolutely love them all. Let me know in the comment section which one was your favorite. I love to see your answers, and I just really had fun making all of these DIYs today. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed yet, I would love for you to do so today. All you have to do is hit that big subscribe button and click on the bell notification so that YouTube can always notify you when I upload new content. And I would love for you to be part of my virtual art family. I would love for you if you can come over and check my Buy Me a Coffee page, and all you have to do is leave a message and say hi. I would enjoy seeing that. Don't forget to check out my other socials. If you had made any of these DIYs today, you can leave me a photo on my Facebook page or my Instagram. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.